able to teach you that when you commit and when you're consistent, you open a woman's heart. You get softness from a woman. I can teach you that. And so that's not me defining masculinity, but that's me teaching you what would make me more feminine, which would bring out more of your masculinity. I always get the comment like, why are you talking about a man's masculinity? And I'm just like, I feel I'm the woman experiencing the masculinity, unless you're into men, which is okay too, but that's not my lane. As a woman experiencing a masculine man, I have to speak about your masculinity because I'm the one that's getting affected by the lack thereof, right? Not you specifically, but anyone, right? So if you're consistent, you're opening my heart. If you're thorough, if you're solving problems in my life, I'm soft, I'm relaxed, I trust you. I want to be with you. I want to shut up because I know that you're going to take care of it. But I can't do that if you're not firm in your masculinity.
Do you feel misunderstood?
No.
What's the biggest misconception that you...
Listen, before you jump the gun and before you get excited and you comment in the chat and you comment in the comment section, I hear you. Listen, I hear you. Did she just tell us that she can explain and basically teach you what masculinity is? Before you jump down that lane, I want to say, listen, she actually didn't say that. What she actually did say was, I am a woman that's experiencing the masculinity. Here's what's going to make me feel more feminine. Whether you agree with that is a different scenario and different conversation. But she has a point, right? She's experiencing the masculinity, so she wants to tell us how the masculinity should go. Now, the problem with this is that if she's defining it based on what makes her feel comfortable, we don't know how broken or hurt someone actually is until they start telling you what makes them feel comfortable. And that's when you start finding out whether they really are healed and balanced, and whether you're healed and balanced, right? Because later on in the conversation that they talk about, right, reading to you, like she said, that you're solving problems. But a lot of things that she actually kind of spoke about came right back to money. And then it kind of comes back to that point where men keep saying, like, the one thing that women respect is money. It almost feels like that at points because of the way she explains it. And actually, I don't know if she's the best person to talk about it because she has other brothers around her. She grew up around brothers. So actually her worldview is of almost a masculine framed kind of perspective of even her femininity, right? So it will be familiar, but there may also be things that we're going to disagree with. Now, here's what I actually agree with some of the points she made, right? I absolutely agree though. When you do problem solve, women can rest easy. Okay. When you decide to take a load off her plate, women can rest easy. When you're emotionally grounded, women can rest easy. When you are somebody that is solid, you get things done, you're a man of your word, you're consistent, you're tied to your game and you're tied to your purpose and your calling, and you put that above her because you need to. She's not above your calling. Your calling's above her. She will always be below the calling. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I mean that to say that keep that priority. That I have to always be forward. I have to be forward focused. And whilst this is a part of my life, the woman that I love and care about, I have to be aware that, listen, my calling, what I'm called to, my purpose, I can't forget it. That's what made me sexy and attractive in the first place. That's what made me masculine. My drive and my ambition. I ain't gonna stop now, right? It's just about balance. So in some respects, what she just said, there really is some aspect where I agree with what she's saying, right? She's experiencing it. So there are things that we can learn from her in terms of how we can be more masculine. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, some of you might call bollocks. Some of you might say, hey, it's a whole lot of Todd wash, okay? Some of you might say it's a whole lot of nonsense, what she just spoke, right? But I want you to read just deep what she said. Like, she's saying that she's experiencing some of that masculinity. I'm not saying everything she says is correct, but I'm saying she's experiencing that masculinity. And if that is the case, right, then she does have some stake in claim, the same way that you're experiencing femininity. And when you don't get it, when we don't get that femininity from that woman, and we recognize that the energy she's given us, where she's rude, disrespectful, she doesn't follow our lead, she doesn't know how to listen, she doesn't know how to pay attention, she's always lacking accountability, doesn't affirm, isn't somebody who's affectionate, we know that's not feminine energy. And that's the same way she gonna know what's masculine too when you are not giving it to her, so she can rest in it. Okay, so I'm with her. I'm with her some points.
Or your team may have brought to your attention that you're like, that's not me.
Two-part narcissism. That I am a narcissist, but I am. So it's like a misconception because you're using narcissist in a negative connotation. I am a narcissist. I do put myself first. The problem with that is where there's one, there's two. I can be that without being a person that's spiteful, manipulative, and harmful. I don't engage.
See, this is where she's going to lose me. And this is where many fools are made through many things that they say. What do you mean you're a narcissist, darling? When have you ever heard narcissist being used in a positive manner? Now, we all have narcissistic traits. We all have a level of a scale. Okay, we all have a level of scale on that, because of course we're human beings. We have we have some level of selfishness within ourselves. We put ourselves first and we don't think about others, right? That is a normal thing for human beings. Some level of grandeur in our own perspective. But she actually said outright she's a narcissist. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna believe her, and I'll do a second video about this. I'm going to believe her. Mandem, listen to me carefully. Now, she may be using this incorrectly, but I ain't got the time to travail through it. Okay? All right? To have narcissistic person, well, I said to be a narcissist, right? There is the negative connotation that come with it. Now, she's trying to take the nice part of it, but my darling, there isn't any nice part of it. You know what I'm saying to you? Not to have a narcissistic trait is different from being a narcissist. You are now existing in that narcissism. That's completely different, and there is always going to be chaos with that person. This tells me all we need to know. It sounds like she's a selfish individual, okay, who will choose to get whatever she wants to get from a relationship. Nobody who's loving and caring and appreciative and somebody who really is someone who's going to care about somebody is going to call themselves a narcissist in their right mind. In their right mind.
In situations that hurt me or that hurt another person, I don't lead men on to believe that I'm going to be your woman if I know you're not my man. But the other side could be true too, where I put myself first, where I'm self-centered, where I care more about me in the situation than I can you, because you would do the same thing. If it's going to hurt me, I can't be with you. And they'll, oh, you're self-centered. You only put yourself first. I wouldn't have got 2 degrees on the same day and dropped an album if I didn't put myself first.
Yeah, but
putting yourself first isn't narcissism. Again, putting yourself first is not narcissism. When we say, even in Bible, we say, love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? That's not narcissism. That's a healthy dose of loving yourself, which you should do. Have a healthy dose of self-esteem and self-respect and self-worth so that you don't undersell yourself into a relationship with somebody who can't value you correctly and will end up mistreating you. Right? So that's different. You having 2 degrees and dropping an album is precisely what I'm saying to you. Everything that she was kind of saying in this interview was all about money. I said, you got to be very careful. And then it's like, now we're hearing this. I'm a narcissist. And listen, there is no double standard here. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you tell me that you're a narcissist, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you because you are a narcissist. Same with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon said the same thing. And he's a narcissist. He says he's a narcissist. All right, call you a narcissist then, bro. You know what I mean? Then I have to believe you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think he actually is a narcissist. And I don't think she's actually a narcissist. But what you are telling me is that you either are somebody, not even self-aware, you're either somebody who's got a very, there's an attachment style that usually folks that I'm thinking of, that you've got a very chaotic background you come from. Very chaotic. And that's why you're saying what you're saying. Or maybe you are genuinely a narcissist. And I have to accept it for what it actually is.
But do you understand the questions that lie after a statement like that is made?
Like what specifically?
You being a narcissist in a situation that you're openly speaking about, but also realizing like how you gonna be a narcissist and cater to an alpha man?
Both things can be true.
Okay,
because if that
they both can't be true because a narcissist is self-serving and does not care about the other person's needs. So this shows me a lack of understanding of the word narcissist, and actually it's quite scary. Why would she go to that? I just don't know if you're trying to create a moment or what, but why would she go to narcissism? Yeah, when they tell you what they're gonna do, bro, when they tell you who they are, believe them, bro. Trust me, I've been there many a times where I try to be like, nah, it's not you. No, you are. You know what you are? You told me who you are. Thank you very much. I don't need someone in my life who I know is gonna be calling himself a narcissist. That's nuts.